Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Six Nations. And after the last game between France and Ireland, it is well and truly opened up. There is a chance that next week, the French, they are at the moment in the box seat and they could possibly walk to a Six Nations victory. But a team that can stop them is Scotland. Not just because of if they win a big one here, but in that next contest, there's still that little tiny possibility for the Scottish to get the Six Nations. But looking through at the way that it sits, of course, currently the French, they have moved right up onto 16 points and not allowing the Irish to get a single point from that game. England versus Italy, that will be taking place tomorrow, and that will help us know exactly how the table will be sitting. But looking through at the starting lineup, first of all for Scotland, it is Pierre Schoeman, Dave Cherry and Xander Fagerson as the front row, Johnny Gray and Grant Gilchrist in the locking duo with Jamie Ritchie, Rory Darge and Jack Dempsey as the number 8, Ben White and Finn Russell in the 9-10 channel, Tom Jordan and Hugh Jones in the midfield, and then Duan van der Merwe, Darcy Graham returns after his brutal injury a few weeks ago, and Blair Kinghorn is there at number 15 for the Welsh. In their starting side, it will be Nicky Smith, Elliot Dee and Wilgriff John as the 3, Will Rowlands and Daft Jenkins in the 4 and 5. Scotland have a 83% chance. They have just got on the win predictor, by the way, so they are massive favourites heading into this contest. But the way that this Welsh side played last week up against Ireland was actually extremely impressive. Someone who did very well was the man at number 6, Jack Morgan, with Tommy Reffel and Talupe Falatau there as the number 8. Thomas Williams and Gareth Anscombe as the 9 and 10. Ben Thomas alongside Max Llewellyn in the midfield, and then me, not me though, of course, Tom Rogers at number 14 and Blair Murray as the number 15. In the chat we have got there, they played awesome and a great win for France. I hope that Wales can win their first game. I totally agree. Yes, hope Wales pulls this one off from Jan there. We should show, of course, the most recent fixtures for the Welsh. Their first game up against the French, 43-0. That, honestly, and some of the other results that we've seen from this French side doesn't look that bad. Italy versus Wales, it was a close one, but 7-point victory for the Italians. And then up against the Irish, they did lose by 9 in that matchup. And they will be very much so hoping to be even closer than that up against Scotland, who did start their Six Nations off with a bang, winning up against the Italians 31 points to 19. Then they were defeated by the Irish, 32 points to 18, and then the 1-point victory for the English last week. Honestly, if Scotland had won that game, heading into this contest, they would have been sitting completely different. Could have had a few extra points on the board, in which case, them and France would have been going right down to the wire. I'm back for another awesome commentary from Hamish, says Matthew, and let's go Wales. Says 9HD, and Wales were a lot better than Ireland. Well, Wales were a lot better against Ireland. They showed the same form. They'll be too much for Scotland, says Stevie. After this match, there'll be a funeral because Wales going to be buried today by Scotland, says JT. Of course, there is still one more game that is taking place in this round after this one, and that is going to be the matchup between the English and the Italians. That'll be taking place tomorrow, so be sure, keep an eye out for that one. Do let me know your score predictions for this match, ladies and gentlemen, as it is going to be our last stream. Well, it's the last stream of this session. We've got a Super Rugby match tomorrow afternoon that we are hoping to cover on the channel. And then alongside that, we've also got the English versus Italy game taking place as well. We've got the national anthem, first of all, for the Welsh, by the sounds of it. And then we will be straight into the matchup. But we will go here and we will go here as well. Just like that and like that. Perfect. So in terms of the odds at the moment that we can see, it is going to be, as we currently sit, massive favourites for the Scottish. And I mentioned earlier on about the percentages, 83% favour of the Scottish here. Looking through at their bench for this match, they have got Ewan Ashman, Rory Sutherland and Will Hurd as the number 18, Brown and Fagerson, alongside Horn, McDowell and Kyle Rowe off of the bench. For Wales, they've got Dewey Lake, Thomas and Azarati, Williams and Wainwright, and Williams, Evans and Roberts as the number 23. Like we said, this Welsh side playing a lot better last week up against the Irish than I think a lot of people thought that they would. So that's got to be at least a step in the right direction. Got the voices and the legs, says Danielle. And go Wales, you can do this, says Matthew. And go the Scots, says Aneki. And there as well. Now, of course, Flowero, Scotland is going to be played at Murrayfield. It is quite the atmosphere. It looks like a great evening game for this match as well. And go the Scots, says Aneki. Smile on the face of George Horn. He will, of course, be making his way off of the bench in this match. He did miss out in the last game, I believe. Scottish fans very excited for this contest because now that Ireland have lost a game, it opens up the door for these other sides to not just look towards possibly causing a massive upset towards the title, but also, you know, that second place is on the line now. Italy, they'll be up for the task tomorrow up against the English, as they'll know if they win that and somehow can also beat the Irish, like, that will sit them very nicely at the end of the Six Nations. McGregor Townsend, a lot of pressure on him because people from an outside perspective are looking at this game as the Welsh coming in with nothing to lose. And with that can always bring a dangerous opposition. Finn Russell and that 10 jersey will need to be focused. There's a lot of tape on the fingers of, is that Tom Jordan? He's also got tape on the side of his face. And going with Wales in this one, Wales 31-28 to Scotland. So here's Lilia B. We are now ready to go for this contest, ladies and gents, at Murrayfield. Starting lineup looks strong. The two co-captains, Finn Russell and Rory Darge. We're hoping to lead Scotland to a big victory here, including a bonus point, which they would, of course, receive if they get 4 or more tries. I have a cooler box and anticipation. So here's Danielle. Just showing there, Darcy Graham back after his nasty head knock that he did actually take from his teammate. And then for Wales in their starting lineup, Jack Morgan, the skipper, is at number 6. And like they've just said, same exact Welsh team. First time in 66 games or something along those lines, I think they just said. But they decided, worked last week, might as well try it again. I think the exciting thing about this is the scrum battle. Because we did see Wales get a lot of scrum penalties in their last match up against Ireland. In fact, they were dominating the Irish scrum. Scotland, they're known for a fair amount of shove. Schoolman, Cherry and Xander Fagerson. So I kind of, it sounds bad, but I want to see the ball drop pretty early. And I want to see us get straight into those scrums and work out who's got that little bit of dominance in that department. Referee in charge of this one. It is going to be Andre Piardi. And Nick Berry is on the assistant referee side of things alongside Nicky. And the TMO is Eric Gauzins from France. And Wales to win 36 points to 21. Oh, that's a big score margin. 15 points. Just showing the trophy that both of these sides will be playing for. Now we have to get there which team has the weight advantage. I'm not too sure yet. Normally first scrum we get to see how much both of them weigh. So as soon as we know, of course, we will also let you all know too. We are just about ready for the kickoff. I'm not sure what we are waiting for. I think it was just getting the TMO all sorted and rearing to go. Wales, they will be kicking off from left to right. Second last game of the Six Nations for these two sides. Wales still on that massive losing streak. Can today be the time that they break it? Kiwi lads, everyone, morning to you all. And Wales going to make history today and hit number 15-0 win, says Spider-Meg. But the kickoff now is happening and we are underway for another match of the Six Nations, nicely claimed by Johnny Gray. gets driven towards his own goal line, about 20 metres out. Ben White is to the short side. Looks like he will now be setting up for the kick. Oh, wrong button. Ben White. Going to kick this one towards the touch line. Wales watching closely, but it does go into touch. They will now have themselves the line out. In the starting lineup, they have got Elliot D in that 2 jersey. What's Gregor Townsend got in there? Little sweets of some sort, I think it is. Enjoying the complimentary food and drink of Murrayfield. Now looking to get this rolling maul, slightly marching in the right direction. Wales 26-14. Says Steve, it's quite interesting. I think we're seeing most people backing Wales to win this game, even though Scotland come in as the 83% likely winner. So a lot of people love that underdog story and they hope to see it here, but the penalty is going to go early against Jamie Ritchie. Cheers, boss, says Blues Nate. So a chance here for the Welsh to decide whether or not they want to kick that one towards the touchline, whether they do go for the early 3 points. Right, they have decided the shot will be the option. Gareth Anscombe, man with kicking responsibilities for today. Normally relatively safe. Good morning, Spider Mick. Says Matthew. Head coach, or sorry, the head interim coach for the Welsh. Watching on. And Scotland for the win, 32 points to 21. Says Christopher DeVette. Morning, Spider Mick, says Matthew. First kick of the day. You always want to start on that high note. And the verdict for Anscombe is he has just snuck it over. Looked like it was going to be hitting the post like the first one of the last match, but Wales lead in this contest. 3 points to 0, ladies and gents. So they will be, I would think, relatively happy with that. Hi, my bro. Says Spider Mick. Oh, it's going to be Finn Russell. Gets this one off high. And slapped back by Scotland, although claimed by Wales. Right place, right time. They will be back in position. Thomas Williams going to cross to the right-hand side where he finds Will Griff John. Was a part of that dominant scrum of the Welsh last week. Thomas Williams looking for the box kick this time. Partially charged down and claimed nicely by Ben White. 40 metres out from the line. Here comes Duan van der Merwe. And he's driven down by Jack Morgan. Now Pierre Schoorman with the position in hand. We have got high all. I just had a revelation from on high. Ireland will be Italy with a bonus point, and Scotland will shock France and Paris. Ireland will be Six Nations champions, says Brian. A good start, confidence boost, says Lilia B. And that's the thing, they started very well up against the Irish as well. It's whether or not Scotland can find their early rhythm. And White goes back across to Finn Russell now. Hugh Jones joining that breakdown to protect Kinghorn. Now White across to Jack Dempsey. Just tuned in again. Lawns need watering. They've got their 34 degrees Celsius today in Wellington, Western Cape, with a warm wind. Surely Scotland must win. And let's go Scotland, says Jorge. Now Tom Jordan, tackled by Max Llewellyn. Up to 8 phases in a row here for Scotland. Nice phase play. Not rushing it either, just making sure that they can get that next pass away. Pierre Schoorman almost was able to get that offload away. Finn Russell with the inside ball to Darcy Graham. It's nice to see them not colliding with each other this time. Ben White going off to Russell. Bounce pass to Tom Jordan. 22 metres out and 13 phases in now for the Scottish. Felicia, morning to you, says Spider there. Now passed out wide. Here comes Darcy Graham. Passes one more to Blair Kinghorn. What a finish that is from the Scottish fullback. And he will get the first try of the contest for Scotland. The breakthrough that they would have been after, and it took them 5 minutes to be able to do so. Hugh Jones playing for Scotland against Wales. Just sounds wrong. Sears Fleshin. Great finish from Kinghorn. He still had quite a bit of work to do. But it's kind of made it look easy. We're going to see it there. Draw and pass from Darcy Graham. Worked out nicely, and then still a good leg drive for Kinghorn to be able to finish the job. Roof nursing Dupont. Says Spider-Meek. Now we have got the old call, says Danielle. Now ready to line up this kick. It is going to be Finn Russell. He had a couple shockers in the match last week up against England. And he gets that one over. If he had done that once in the game up against the English, Scotland would have won. Just to ruin the mood for him. Brilliant try, says Brian. He manages to get through Anscombe and just uses the power to drive over for the try, Kinghorn. Roos in Dublin A&E, says Eric J. Now 6.5 minutes in, a solid start to the match for Scotland after conceding the early 3. Now, kick off from the Welsh. How do they answer back in this scenario? It's going to be kicked off. And nicely taken by Ben White. Does get it into touch. Do they want to take it quickly? Heavily considered it there, Murray. Rubbing Dupont's thighs, said Spider-Meek. Around the halfway line. Chance here for Wales to have the line out. That didn't look like a very straight setup there for the Scottish, so I think that was good that the referee did adjust at Ireland, embarrassing in front of their home crowd. The same thing will happen against the Springboks at the end of the year. Says Mornay Lagrange. Now, this ball in the hands of the Welsh. On off to the left-hand side. Passes it on the outside. Youngster, Alice Mee. Thomas Williams. Tackle, Tommy Reffel. Going to the right, Wilgriff John. I think I can hear some distant bagpipes at Murrayfield. Just putting together a few phases here, the Welsh. Exactly what they need. I'm willing to put money on Scotland beating France next week. Says Christopher. Another tackle made on Nicky Smith. Thomas Williams. Back to Anscombe. Now goes high with it. Wales turn to score, says Matthew Elliott. Or Ellisme, I should say. Hits the ground extremely hard, the youngster. Does look like he's going to take a little while to get back up to his feet. Arjun once again says Bokeen. Well, we do appreciate you a lot. Coming back for another stream. We've still got 2 more that are taking place later on. The Crusaders versus the Reds. A little bit of an awkward time. Probably middle of the night for yourself. You're covering the ICC Champions Trophy final tomorrow, Hamish. We are not, because we have got England versus Italy. That does overlap with it. But we will be keeping you updated about what is happening in that match for the last kind of few hours of it. With that live stream. Nice run forward from Jack Morgan. Thomas Williams. Back to the right. Come on, Wales. Try would be nice. And hello, Hamish. Says Ruth, welcome in. And that's a penalty now to Scotland. Pierre Sorman in there. Gets the impressive steal. Now, we'll be able to kick this one towards the touch line. And I ref, how's Dupont? Says Matthew. I'm back. Feather Cats at a shower and practice my massage on Antoine's knee. Now kick towards the touchline from Finn Russell, getting a decent amount of distance on it. That will actually take Scotland into the 22. And this looks like Elliot Mee has made his way from the field. The youngster, oh no, in fact that's Tom Rogers. That brings on Roberts. It was much earlier in this game than they would have liked to had to make their sub. Dave Cherry. Going to have the throw now. Ireland embarrassing in front of their home crowd. We already read that one, Mornay. We have got the eye, Ruth. Says Spider-Meek. Now throwing this one in. Nicely stolen by the Welsh at line out time. And it's going down to the middle of the park. Darcy Graham stepping around. The new man on the field, Roberts. When does Malcolm Marks play, says Bokang? If you're talking international, that's probably July. I'd say is the next time. If you're talking about just in general, he's probably playing in Japan at the moment. Now, nice pass on the outside. Hugh Jones passes on the inside, and Tom Jordan will score the second try of the match for Scotland. It's impressive. Our Roof Dupont will be limited around for a while. And lose at home, Mornay. Says Eric. However, with the O'Neill, I thought it's a thigh. Great finish from Tom Jordan. Got that inside ball from Hugh Jones. Only 7 caps for him, but he has now got his first try of international rugby. What was your prediction for this match, Hamish? Says Mono the Grange. I do think that Scotland will get the job done, and that's not just because they're currently up by the 2 tries, but there was a reason they were 83% likely to win this match at the start of it. And as much as people wanted to see Wales come out and really fire, I think that their big game was up against the Irish last week, and that now it's going to take that a little bit longer to readjust. But yeah, some lovely passing happening from the Scottish there. And then just finishes it off well, Tom Jordan. Duan van der Merwe put in the big fend on Ellis Mead Lurin. And when Duan touched the ball, there's a try. Says Russ. Okay, they've won the last 2 meetings, they've just said, about the Scottish. Scotland will have the bonus point before half-time. They'll be very confident going to Paris next game. Assume it's in Paris. Says Brian. Yeah, I believe so. I believe it is the home game for the French. We got it here. There we go. Yeah, it's going to be a relatively late kickoff for that contest, and by then we will know what is needed from both sides to be able to win the Six Nations, or at least finish high up on the table for it. Nice take from Finn Russell. Goes across to Blair Kinghorn. Now, looking for the 50-22, but it's going to go out just short of their 22-metre line. So probably about 25 metres. Now, Wales will have this line out. It's just very good replacement for Antoine. His smooth commentary and his moustache and tie. Here's Ruth. Now, line out throw here for the Welsh. We've seen 0 opposition 22 visits for Wales just at this point. Of course, taking the early 3 to Lupe Falatau. Here, there were upsets in Super Rugby Pacifica, which teams lost. So we did see the Blues lose to the Brumbies for the first time at Eden Park in 12 years. We saw Moana Pacifica beat the Hurricanes, and we also saw the Fijian Roar beat the Chiefs. Darcy Graham nicely controlled under the high ball. Finn Russell back to the left. A little bit of a shuffle in the midfield from Tom Jordan. Stephen Kitsoff retires from rugby. Says Bokang. He certainly has. Same with Brock Harris. Has decided to hang up the boots as well. Oh. Off feet. That's actually going to be the penalty to Scotland. A little bit of an anticlimactic whistle. I think the Welsh player there just saying, I didn't actually hear you. And we have good there, you play him, hey girl, hey boy. And we have got there, the Brumbies were very good, says Ruth. Now Finn Russell again. He'll kick this ball into touch. Big contact coming in on Dave Cherry. Looked a bit frustrated about it. Brumbies were very good. Another the smiling and the laughing from Danielle with the old emojis. Now Dave Cherry runs about 25 metres out for Scotland, who already have 2 tries in the first 14 and a half minutes. An easy 3 reminded me of the dirty old snooker joke. The easy pink and the awkward brown, says Brian. Is that the Chiefs' first losing game? It is. They were 3 from 3 heading into that contest. Now they are 3 wins, 1 loss. Ben White going off to the left-hand side here. Middle of the park, Finn Russell goes with the short ball. I don't think Hugh Jones was fully expecting it. It's going to be stolen there by the Welsh. Look to kick it into touch, and that is a very nice one from Jack Morgan. And AJ who's kicks off. Here's Ruth in there as well. But yeah, a little bit of a banana kick there from Jack Morgan. Oh. Okay. I thought for a second we were getting a TMO decision there, but it was just a case of referee Piardi telling both lines to stay where they are at line-out time. Ben White goes across to Russell, goes on the inside to Duan van der Merwe, trying to get straight over the ball though, and the Welsh get themselves the penalty. And big up Kiwi lads, says Bo Kang. That's an important one. I think now they will have to look for the corner. They could go for 3. It's about 50 metres out, but I do think they will need something extra. I mean, those hands were down from Elliot D first, but I think it was actually the side entry from the Scottish that got them penalised. Who will the Chiefs play next weekend? I believe they're playing the Blues next weekend, so a massive game in that regard. They've said 55th cap for Elliot D and only 17 starts across it. It's too early in the morning here in Taiwan for that snooker joke, or maybe my mind is in the gutter. Here's Christopher DeVette, nicely thrown in. Now sitting 25 metres out, Jack Morgan goes with the short ball. Looked like he went with a bit of an extended arm there. Was actually a full pass from Wales too, so they will go back for another scrum. This time will be the Scottish feed. In fact, is this our first scrum? I'm trying to remember whether or not we've had another one or whether all the advantages have just played out. Please adjust the scoreboard, says Bo King. Hopefully it does update itself relatively soon. It's about 10 minutes behind. Tell you what, we'll shake the mouse flat out and see if it kicks in. Hopefully. Oh, yep, there we go. France, says Matthew, who win Ireland or France. So France managed to get themselves the win by 15 points. Your straight face and diplomacy with our banter is admirable, says Ruth. Right, time is off here. I think that's Rory Darge who has all the finger tape. Oh. We're checking the action of number 12. That sounds like an eye gouge, is it? Ben Thomas in the eye region. Now, I did mention how he came right into it in terms of way too upright. Wales Trails has said, someone tell BBC to drop Warburton, who's commentated on All Sports ever. Says Wales. He runs with the forearm up, and then he does put the fingers near the eyes of Duan van der Merwe. So this will be an interesting decision. So he tries to fend off the face of Duan. He also kind of goes in with that elbow outstretched at the start. Yeah, almost got into the eyes. And like they've just said, eye gouging is a straight red. And his fingers are very close to going in. I better to just dismantle the BBC. Well, Duan nearly lost an eye there, says Sean. And she's already beaten the Blues in their first meeting, and it was away from home. Wales Trails definitely sees flesh in there. Right, this isn't good for Ben Thomas. Okay. So Piardi was saying it's about the elbow, and the refs or the TMO is going, no, I'm looking at the fingers and the eyes. Oh. That's a massive call from Piardi. So he has pretty much said, I see nothing in that is foul play. He's braced with his arm. which was quite close to being an extended forearm. Then from there, he said he didn't even mean to put it in the eyes of Duan van der Merwe, so it's all good. Eye gouging is definitely a no-no, says Ruth. Ben Thomas, he certainly won't be leading into a challenge like that again, I would think. And they were Ruth. I can't argue there, says Brian. The Hamish emojis from Ruth in there too. Ben White, oh no, scrums collapse. We will get another scrum reset here. I think Jack Morgan just having a bit of a chat with the touch judge. It doesn't look good for that eye gouging, although completely fine. All good, they've said. Of course he didn't mean that. Says Fleshin. Yeah, like no one really goes into a challenge going, right, while my hand's here, I might as well try and scrape his eyeball out. But quite surprising that it wasn't given as anything, though, in terms of whether or not it was the forearm or whether they were going to look at it as hands near the eyes. Like, commentators were saying it could be red, but it's just play on. Oh, and now it's going to be the penalty to the Scottish Rugby can be messy, says Bo Kang. Right, 1-0 up for Scotland, not even a penalty, says Ruth. That's going to be against Nicky Smith at scrum time. Good kick downfield, hard work in the front row, says Danielle. About 30 metres gained here for the Scottish. Yeah, both men are straight down. Xander Fagerson doing the little walk-off as well. How does it compare to the Mapimpi incident? Oh, I haven't seen the Mapimpi one for a little while, so I can't quite remember it exactly off the top of my head, but he ended up with 3 weeks, didn't he, for the eye gouge? I have Scotland beat in the box, says Bo Kang. I am not 100% sure. Wales are going to get annihilated here, and Welsh discipline is lacking. Why can't they be consistent, says Ruth. A run forward from Pierre Skurman. Off to the right-hand side, trying to pierce his way through was Ben White. Pick and go from Johnny Gray. Now Jack Dempsey again. He's using it nicely here, Scotland. Phase after phase. There we go. The ref is going to compensate for Scotland, says Fleshin. Oh, Pierre Skurman, that's close. Jack Morgan gets himself the penalty. And Wales, once again with Jack Morgan being able to keep them in this contest. Just have to make sure they're not the next team to concede. But yeah, Jack Morgan gets straight in there. They weren't able to get rid of him. And Gregor Townsend is not too happy about it. As contact sports accident do happen. If you're eye gouging at the World Cup, it'll be at least a yellow card, or it could be worse, says Mornay. One is going to be put into touch now, sitting about 40 metres out here for Wales from their own line. Yep, 3-game suspension. Come on, Jack, get in. Boy, says Fleshin. And Welsh have always been a bit chippy. Thrown in for Elliot D. Line out time goes to the front to Will Rowlands. Thomas Williams. Across to Anscombe. A lot of men set up for a backline movement there, the Welsh. And said they will go back in the pocket and they will kick it up high. And Morgan went from in for the side. Should have been a Scotland penalty, says Brian. Now nicely taken by Darcy Graham, I should say. On the halfway line, Gray goes off to Grant Gilchrist. Ben White clapping his hands. He wants that ball out the back. Now again, some nice quick hands. That's close to a steal, and they will get the penalty this time. And I rob it again, says Ruth. Jack Morgan, that is now, I believe, his 3rd penalty that he's been able to win. Not releasing penalty goes against the Scottish. And it's a welcome change having Jack Morgan back. I mean, we talked about, that Welsh losing streak, but quite a few of those games, they were not having Jack Morgan. Kerr will probably be in the chat tomorrow. Says Mornay Lagrange. It is the possibility. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how many people pop in for that Crusaders versus Reds game in the afternoon. Seeing as it is at a pretty awkward time for you guys in the north. Ready to throw this one in. It is going to be Elliot D. Now nicely thrown. Well claimed by the Welsh. Jack Morgan plays scrum half. And good old Scottish clans of McDonald, Wallace and Van der Merwe. So here's Christopher, a very nice break and run forward. Off to the left. This is the big chance for the Welsh. Get back into this game to Lupe Falatau at 4:35 again for us South Africans for the Crusaders versus Reds. Says Sean. Trying to get the turnover there. Grant Gilchrist, he's told to get out of it though. 5 phases in a row now for the Welsh. Lupe Falatau tries to hurdle over Darcy Graham. Still waiting for Claudette to wake up. Anything you can't complain. Says Danielle. Now Thomas Williams. Back to the right again. Cross kick from Anscombe. And it sits up. And the try is scored for Blair Murray. Hang on, we don't play posh school rugby like most do. Of course, we are edgy, says Fleshin. That is now the try going the way of Wales. Murray scores it. And they're back in. 2 tries for his 7 caps here. Blair Murray. Looking like a really handy option in the future at the back for the Welsh. And Anscombe just waits that one perfectly. Massive in-goal areas at Murrayfield as well. So you can put a little bit of extra juice on it. Latest world ranking updates. South Africa on top. Think New Zealand second now. Says Bruce. Yeah, then it will be France in third and Ireland in fourth. The try says Danielle. Now Anscombe. Try and add the extra 2. And he's hit the post, but this time it bounces away to the side, so the score will remain at 14 points to 8. Ref did Wales a couple of favours there, said Brian. Well, finally, they know where the try line is, says Spider-Mech. And yeah, just really nice finish. And the assist for Anscombe. Just looking for that little chip of mine. Saw there wasn't anyone back there, so could use it to his advantage. Now kicked off high for Finn Russell. Well taken by Blair Murray, who was lifted up in the air. Thomas Williams goes back to Anscombe. Again, Scotland just retreating after this ball with Blair Kinghorn. Another step. Offloads up for Xander Fagerson. We'll give you the latest rankings, says James Evans. And great for Wales to hang in, says Robert. Only 2 more tries needed for Scotland to get the bonus point for Wales. They'd need 3 more. They could get that bonus point too. Going up for the high ball, beautifully taken by Tom Jordan. Now pick and go from Darcy Graham, shut down by Falatau. White goes to Pierre Skurman. Scotland trying to find themselves another try here in the very near future. Johnny Gray goes across to Tom Jordan, trying to sneak his way through, offloads it up to Darcy Graham, who again will be tackled by Falatau. Might be one eye to me. We deserve a few, says Fleshin. Shot on Xander Fagerson. Ben White calling for it. Finn Russell off to Dave Cherry. On the side, another pick and go from Johnny Gray. Up to 10 phases in a row. Ben White snipes his way through. Gets it away to Hugh Jones. 10 metres now between Scotland and another try. Great pop fake there from Finn Russell. Just sold the dummy, waited that little bit longer, and then passed it to Graham, who runs it straight through for the third try of the match for the Scottish. That was really nicely done by Finn Russell. Normal service has resumed, says Eric J. Good sniping run from Ben White. Saw a little bit of space. Another tackle had to be made by Lupe Falatau. And then just the fake as if he was passing it, throws Anscombe the wrong way and then gets it away to Darcy Graham to give them more of a lead. And Scotland looks comfortable. So here's Bokang. Now they only need one more try to receive the bonus point here. And Finn Russell gets the extra 2 points over. Very nice try, bonus point before halftime for sure. So here's Brian. It just doesn't seem like they're going to slow down at the moment. It's Finn Russell been kicking the conversions. He's been getting them over quite nicely for the Scottish. So that is a massive bonus, 21 points to 8. So I don't know what the big difference was between this week and last week, but already 6 points extra for the Scottish here. That was a big yawn. Now nicely taken by Jack Dempsey. And what? Lifting a leg of his own player just to make sure that it is available. Being told to use it. Has also been taken back, so this one cannot go into touch. And White now in the middle of the field, nicely taken. And Anscombe sends it back high. Murray chasing after this one. Kinghorn knocks it on in the air. And they'll go back for the scrum this time. It will be a Welsh feed. This is what they need a little bit more of. We saw how dominant their scrum can be when they're putting that ball in. I'm really happy France beat an Ireland. I love Ireland, but I think it's France's moment. So here's black screen films. And yeah, it does make the last round that little bit more intriguing. If Ireland had beaten France, then that's the Six Nations done and dusted in terms of the potential of anyone kind of going up and down near the top. Still 11 minutes remaining. Oh, okay, the penalty does go the way of Scotland. They must have reviewed that one and decided that he did play the man in the air. Okay, so they said it's not a fair contest. But now, Finn Russell, he will get to put this ball into touch, so a little bit of luck on the Scottish's way there. I'm not sure what Finn, I don't know whether or not Blair Kinghorn was trying to ask for more than just a penalty, but I saw him saying ref, but like he got the penalty. It looks like he took him out in the year. So here's Brian, and some days you come up better or against a better team. Well done, France. So here's Dennis. I said I'm 35 metres out. Someone's lost a boot. Not 100% sure who it is, but passing on the outside here, Blair Kinghorn. Cutting back inwards, moves up to 22 metres out. Unfortunately for the Welsh, they are just conceding too many metres when Scotland are in possession. Finn Russell, another step there from Hugh Jones. Oh, ball was loose. Referee says play on. Yeah, that's a little bit of a surprise. I thought it might have been a knock on. Jack Dempsey. I'm back across to Grant Gilchrist. Oh, that was illegal from Wilgriff John, and that might be cynical enough for a yellow card here. Yes, it is. A big mistake from Wilgriff John. He just decided to put his boot in the way from an offside position, and he will be going from the field now. So that's going to hurt. Scotland might consider a scrum here, just because it would take a back off. I'll be disappointed. I've just mentioned about how Scotland and the Wales under-20 game, there were 2 rare cards. Michelin Man goes off. So here's Eric J. Yeah, no, that's pretty cynical from Wilgriff John. He knew what he was doing, the big man. And unfortunately, he's probably going to cost the side at least 2 tries here. Thrown in at the front. Nicely taken by the Scottish. Very well timed by Wales when it came to joining that rolling maul. Pushing them towards the sideline. Ball has gone back. Knocked on this time by Scotland and picked up by Max Llewellyn. Darcy Graham wanting the turnover. Didn't manage to get it. Now, Chipping it across, taken by Murray. Keeps the ball alive, drops by Llewellyn. In fact, it was Thomas, and now Tom Jordan slams the ball down. They might just check this grounding, but that is going to be another try. A referee towards Scots here. Says Spider Mech. A great finish from Tom Jordan. That is going to be his second try of the match, as long as he did ground it. I imagine if Scotland get a huge win here, will they be up for it in Paris? Says Brian. Either way, it's going to be a very tough game in France. But Wales doing well to keep that ball alive after a couple little errors. And yeah, Tom Jordan slamming that one down after he did regather it. Yep, no denying that one was grounded. If you love familiar names on today, says Robert V. That try was right out of Chipperfield Circus. Says Eric, and that is now the bonus point already for Scotland. We are only 33 minutes through this match. Finn Russell lines up the kick, and he does get it over. Now 35-7, they've said, was the record win for Scotland a couple of years ago. Bonus point already, says Brian. But yeah, it's just a comedy of errors. Can someone please give this ref a wig or something? Says Blue Snake. Now, still 6.5 minutes remaining in this first half, and 7.5 minutes remaining of that Will Griff-John yellow card. Nicely taken by Ortega. Oh, that's an aggressive run from Jack Dempsey, running out of his 22. Going back across to the right-hand side. Honestly getting pissed by by Scotland as a level of how far we have fallen. Says Fleshin. Ben White goes high. Well taken. At the back for Blair Murray. Goes to Lupe Faletau, and another penalty goes the way of Scotland. Now, the way that it currently sat heading into this round, right? Scotland had a points differential of -3. So the chance of catching France after they got another 15 points in their favour up against the Irish is extremely slim in that department. So for Scotland here, they can just decide what they want to do in terms of, do they want to keep on punishing the Welsh, or do they want to start looking at threes and just, breeze this game? Can't underestimate this Welsh team though, because if they do, then they could end up in a bit of trouble. I give the referee a wig. It's uncalled for and funny at the same time, says Mono the Grange. We could be looking at an even bigger win than France managed against Wales, says Brian. Yeah, that one was 43-0, 45-0. I think it was 43. Thrown in. Now, Pierre Skirman runs it straight at Gareth Anscombe. 10 metres out from the line. Ben White. This will be a little bit frustrating, though, for Scotland. Not so much this game, but the fact that they're doing this now when they weren't able to do it up against the English last week. And if they had done it up against the English, they'd be sitting right up the top with a massive chance of winning the Six Nations. It's cold, eh? Protect the baldy, says Blues Nate. Over there, come on, ref. Give Wales a rest. And 43, says Brian there for the score. Now 4 minutes left in this first half. It has been played at a frantic tempo. Both these sides have gone with the 5-3, I believe, here. In fact, no, I think it is 5-3. And Wales' last match against who, Hamish? So they're going to be playing up against the English. That is the middle game that has taken place. First match will be Ireland versus Italy, and then third will be France versus Scotland. Right, Tommy Reffel, he will make his way off the field. That is due to them having to make the change of Azarati to join in for the scrum. Oh, it's not good for Rory Darsh. Looks like he is going to be making his way from the field. It's easier to do that against Wales and England, I imagine. And we have there the moment when Hamish realises our Lagrange as really pronounced in South Africa. It's probably still a little while away, I would think. It's probably like Lagranja or something, is it? Now, need to put this ball in again. Thomas Williams goes to the left-hand side. And we have got there Wales, if not the coach, what is? Says Spider-Mick, and load shedding here in Cape Town, 3 hours, says Ruth. Right, that ball has gone into touch. 3.5 minutes left of the half, but 4.5 minutes left of that yellow card, which has already been relatively costly. Ready to throw this ball in. It will be Dave Cherry, just drying his hands. My cell phone connection is down. Missed you. Says Ruth. Well, it's good to have you back. And sorry to hear that, Ruth. Says Robert. Now looking for the rolling maul here. And Ben White. Going off to the left. A little pop pass up Finn Russell. Skip pass out to Duan van der Merwe. Hits him on the bounce. Still making a couple extra meters there. Dempsey. Out to the right-hand side. Finn Russell puts it in behind. And Wales will be winless for a second year in the Six Nations. Oh, sorry, winless. Wales are shocking, says Patrick. They've already conceded the 4 tries throughout this first half. There is still plenty of time remaining in this match. Rolling this one back, it is Ben White. And a little guns here. With a hard G. Just busting your balls. You do well with your South African names. And Wales need to get another try soon. Big step from Max Llewellyn. Anscombe has to pick up the loose ball. And big shot from Johnny Gray. And the penalty does go the way of Wales, with Scotland leaving their feet. Just many mistakes happening in quick succession. Wales need another try soon. Yeah, I think if they want any chance of somehow winning this game, they have to get at least, I'd say 2 more tries before 50 minutes. Right, it's criminal what this government is doing. No electricity. So here's Ruth. Now just 1 minute remaining of the first half. It's been a relatively free-flowing one. Another pass to the invisible man. So here's Eric J. Now, line-out throw for Elliot D. Almost stolen by Scotland, so that will be a knock-on advantage in favour of the Welsh now, I would think. And a big score will do Scotland confidence a favour. So here's Robert on the halfway line. Thomas Williams looping around. Big wide cutout pass. The right-hand side to Elliot D. Yes, Gorman tried to go for the counter ruck, wasn't able to get it. An amazing Scots flower flowing nicely, keep it ticking over. Says Ruth. Williams going to Anscombe. That looked close to Ford again for the Welsh, and the penalty goes the way of Scotland. Matt Fagerson, the replacement for Rory Darge, already getting in the action. Hopefully Scotland play this good against France, give Ireland some chance. Winning the championship, I reckon France 95% have the title. Says Patrick, yeah, they're certainly right up there now after that big win over the Irish, just because of that points differential. No one's catching that. Unless Ireland beat Italy by, honestly, they have to beat them by 100 points. Which is pretty drastic. Now Scotland again have decided to kick this one towards the corner. They'll be about 10 metres out with the line-out throw. And come on, Scottish, says Dams. It's going to be Dave Cherry. Hamish, how many hours have you been going? A lot, says Ruth. It's been a little while. I think we've done about probably 9.5, 10 hours of commentary with a little half break. But yeah, I'm starting to feel it. I feel like I'm an autopilot at the moment in terms of sleepiness. And I think if I closed my eyes at halftime, I would be asleep before the second half started. We have got there, that is some needs. Oh, that's someone. And needs to show us how to play defensive wise. Now Scotland still with the ball. Ben White goes off to Finn Russell, who can't get his offload away. No happening, says Patrick, and I don't think Wales players are pro. Let's pick up the street just to make the team. Ben White goes back again to Jamie Ritchie. Some decent defence at the moment from the Welsh, but they have to keep it up for longer than a few phases. Nice ball to Tom Jordan. Was close to forward. Ref says it's fine. Ben White slings it off to the left. Skip pass from Finn Russell. Goes to Kinghorn. Keeps the ball alive. To Fundamuva. He's thrown it forward. And now Wales. Put matchsticks in your eyes. Says Bruce. And going on the beer after Ireland defeat. And Wales. Looks like they're happy enough to try and continue here. I much appreciate your staying power, says Penelope. Right, advantage is over and the time is over. So Thomas Williams will just kick this ball out. I was trying to spell out my surname. It's not that difficult, South Africans know how to spell my surname. And we have got there sloppy tackles, losing penalties. So now halftime in this fixture, and it is going to be 28 points to 8 at halftime. 4 from 4 at the moment off the kicking tee for Finn Russell. It's a pretty dominant half from the Scottish at home. About 3 or 4 Welsh players all around the referee having a bit of a chat with him. But unfortunately for the Welsh, they just weren't clinical enough. And also they just didn't defend well enough, unfortunately, letting through far too many early tries, allowing Scotland into the game. And then Scotland just went from strength to strength. They still had a few errors along the way, I should mention. 28 points to 8, a pretty convincing first 40 minutes. But what we will do is we will get some stats to do with this one. Halftime refresh, says Danielle. There we go. We'll go here and we will go here as well, and with a little bit of luck we should be able to get some stats up for this match. There we go. So stats at the moment, live probability is actually 100%. Wow, that's crazy. 100% for Scotland to win with the live probability. 0% for a draw, 0% chance for Wales to win, according to these odds. We see possession and territory both in favour of Scotland. 60% for the possession, 63% for the territory. They've scored the 4 tries. They've had 600, well, in fact, metres gained is 285. Second half, Wales, 40 minutes left, 3 tries down. We have just played into Scotland's game here, and the ref is on board. Says Fleshen. Our Wales always look like an under-20 team, but no power or presence. Only Jack Morgan looks at the home here. Says Custom. Yeah, he looked very strong throughout that first half. About 3 turnovers. Unfortunately, though, he was about the only one, like you said, who was really doing something. 6 line breaks for Scotland to the 0 of the Welsh. 16 defenders beaten to the 4 of the Welsh. Handling errors 9 for Scotland, though. Probably a little bit higher than they would have liked. And then tackle percentage, 92% for Scotland, only missing the 4 tackles throughout that whole first 40. Making 48 in total, and then there were 17 missed for the Welsh, who have also had to make 107 tackles throughout this matchup. So, those are all the stats and whatnot, ladies and gents. Discipline penalty count is 7 against the Welsh compared to the 5 of Scotland. You know what, those yawns are kicking me in the head at the moment. Had a lot of them already. But I will mention the next live stream that we have got. It is going to be taking place in around 9 hours' time. And that is going to be the one between the Reds and the Crusaders. So anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We won't be this tired. I can guarantee we would have had a bit of a sleep by then. Which should help us out. Trying to steal some of Dad's Scotch whiskey around out of JB. Says Spider Mick. And Wales, come on, let's go, boys. Says Ruth in there as well. But yeah, overall, just not a lot of fight back from Wales at times in that first 40 minutes. These are the changes that can be made. We've already seen Matt Fagerson. He has made his way onto the field for the Scottish, and that was replacing, I believe it was Rory Darge. Yes, it was. And then in terms of the other side of things, we've seen Azarati make his way on briefly, and that was due to the yellow card that we saw from Wilgriff John. Yeah, I've got there, you're making me yawn and I just woke up, says Rod. I do apologise for that. And if at first you don't succeed, try again, says Eric J. Yeah, it's going to be an important little period here for Wales, because the last thing they want is to have a complete runaway against them. But if they're not careful, that is the direction that they are heading in. We've got another match of the sevens. That's always a good indication of how long the halftime break is going to be, because you normally get that rough estimate with the sevens, but more than likely it will be around that 15 minutes or so for the break, which is about stock standard, I would say, for the Six Nations. Standout players, I think Jack Morgan's been sensational. Unfortunately, though, he's the only one for the Welsh who has really stepped up. In terms of players for the Scottish, we've seen quite a bit of Hugh Jones and Tom Jordan in the midfield. Jordan already getting himself 2 tries throughout the match. And then in terms of other standouts, I mean, the forwards have been going all right in terms of being able to get a couple crucial steals and whatnot. But, yeah, I think second half's going to be very telling of whether or not it's going to completely be a runaway in favour of this Scottish side, or if we're going to see a little bit of extra fight from Wales. The kind of fight that we saw them play with up against the Irish last week. Because at least, or it might have been actually the week prior to that, I should say. But like, we saw a little bit of something. We saw a bit of oomph in the way that they were going. So hopefully we get to see that again. We will go like this, and we will go like that as well. Like this, and like that. There we go, and we have got their rum and orange, and Scotland showing off, and Wales practicing safe stuff, says Robert. And which team has the better bench? Well, I will let you be a little bit of a judge of that, but I do think that Scotland do. George Horn, Stafford McDowell, and also Kyle Rowe, all going to be very handy later on in a match. Same with Rory Sutherland, Ewan Ashman. Got a couple decent options there for the Welsh. And Morne, the second G is silent. First G is hard. You remind me of Tola van der Merwe trying to say Jakob. And a rum and orange. And how has Blair Murray been? He hasn't been too bad at the back for the Welsh. Unfortunately, though, just hasn't really had a huge amount of attacking opportunities, which does, of course, make it extremely challenging when you're constantly having to defend. And, I mean, he got caught out of position at one point, but at the same time, it's a big game that they have to try and get back into here in terms of wanting any chance of getting close to win. Of course, a bonus point would be great for them. It would help them in the right direction anyway. But yeah, I think there's still a lot of work to be done for this Welsh team. And hopefully we see those steps in the right direction. Definitely in their last game up against the English. No one wants to see a fully huge runaway game. Although, of course, the English will, because that will give them a better chance of winning the Six Nations competition. Yeah, second half, very close to taking place. We will take those names off the screen. There we go. And these are the 3 matches that are taking place next week as well, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of what is to come. Some important matchups. And at the moment, it is France's Six Nations to lose. It's how different it has ended up. But it doesn't guarantee them a win. They still have to make sure they get themselves the win over the Scottish in the next week's game. It'll be a tough task, definitely if they do play the way that they are here. What's the difference between rum and black heart, Ruth? Says Spider Meek. That's a very good question. Hopefully Ruth will be able to help you out because I would have absolutely no idea, if I'm being honest. And we have got, I think I missed a message earlier on. Possibly. Oh no, it was about the whiskey and whatnot in the chat. Yeah, second half. Very close. Hopefully. If anyone's wondering why I'm clicking, I decided to keep myself a little bit more awake at halftime because the tiredness was slightly kicking in. And I was starting to really feel it. So I've made the thumbnail for the Reds versus Crusaders game just to try and wake my brain up a little bit more heading into the second half. This chair was getting a little bit too comfy, so I had to do something to try and switch on, per se. Yeah, that live stream will be taking place a little bit later on in the day. Rum is light and black heart is thick. And more volume again, please, Hamish. Some of us have high, speedy fans on, trying to keep cool, says Bruce. I think we are still on the same volume settings as the last stream. Like, we are still exactly the same. That one originally. So I would say that maybe that fan is just cranking a little bit too hard there. But hopefully, I mean, let's do a little prediction. Wales, second half, how many tries do you think Wales will be able to score? Are you going to go high, a little bit low? I want to say Wales, well, I want to say they'll get 2, but I just don't know if they can, which is a little bit of a problem for them. But I'd like to think that they'd do well enough and maybe can get 2, but I also do think that will come at the cost of 4 tries or so for the Scottish. So, yeah, I think they'll close in on 50 points here, Scotland, as long as they're clinical and they play similar to what they did in the first half, taking their opportunities, adding the points. Captain Morgan, Spice Gold and Coke, says Wenmar, and Wales will get 2 in the second, says Sean. And then if they get the 2, why not get the 3? Get the bonus point, in this case, for the Welsh. See whether or not that does become a possibility. But yeah, Captain Morgan, he was the best player on the field for Wales by far. There were a couple other guys in the back line who had some relatively all right moments. But Morgan winning those 3 turnovers, you would think would be enough to give Wales half a shot, but sadly not. Talk louder then, please, says Bruce. Have you got your volume turned up, Bruce? That might also help. Gavin Henson will score 2. And France were brilliant today, but for the uncharacteristic books or backs, ball spills, England would have gone the way we did today. The early match honed the French repairs, and today they cut us to pieces, says Kernovik. We have got there Wales as well from Matt W. So you're back in the Welsh. Wait, no, he's got the kind of similar face. So does that mean you're not happy with the Welsh? As a non-alcoholic drinker, I learn a lot from this chat. Says Lilia B. Yeah, there's plenty to learn from the interesting knowledges that we find all linking up in the chat. And yes, flat out, says Bruce. In terms of that fan, we have got there Ruth. I just made a rum and Schweppes orange with fresh whipped cream for myself and my wife. Schweppes orange. Is that an interesting combination? Having so you've got orange juice and whipped cream type of situation, don't you? Which is to me that sounds interesting. I can't imagine what it would be like. And Warren Gatlin is warming up on the sideline. Says Crimson and 2, says Robert for how many tries, and Captain Morgan was great. And 46-20 to Scotland, says Kirsten. And there as well. But second half is very close to starting up. We'll just quickly have a wee check. So the half ended about 12 and a half minutes ago. So I think we're probably only a couple more breaks or little stoppages and then we're ready to go. And probably one, says Danielle. But yeah, I think the bigger question here, as well as whether or not Scotland can get to that 50 as Gatland moved back to New Zealand. I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not sure where he's ended up. And Brian far too rich, says Danielle. They're just showing the Crusaders Reds. Going to be taking place today at around 3 p.m. or 3:35 is actually the kickoff. So we will be starting at 3:30 New Zealand time. Referee just having a little bit of a chat there to Dave Cherry. And Chiefs need to do head coach, says Stewart. Do you think they'd want Gatland back? Maybe could be an option. Wilgriff John, I think he's back out there now. Yes, he is. After getting himself the yellow card, it did cost them 2 tries in that time. Scotland, they will be kicking this one off from left to right to get us underway for second 40 minutes of action. Blair Kinghorn had a good start to the match, getting himself the try out wide. That is what actually began it all for Scotland. Just waiting to hear whether or not they've made any other changes, with the exception of course, Rory Darge, who was changed in that first 40 minutes. Gatland has changed his name to Jones. And Dave Rennie says Crimson. Right, kicked off by Kinghorn, and we are now underway for the second 40 minutes of this matchup. Thomas Williams has the ball inside of the Welsh 22. I don't see Wales winning a game until 2027. Says Big Rig Joe. Now kicking this one towards the touchline. Nicely claimed by Kinghorn. Just inside of the Scottish territory. Big attack and run up the middle from Dempsey. Has run that ball extremely hard and straight. Now passing out to Duan van der Merwe. Gets the fend on him. Does get driven into touch. Send one down to the Crusaders next year. If they don't beat the Reds tomorrow, it might be curtains for the current coach, says Stuart Moore. We shouldn't have got Gats back long term, says Leshan. And also Dave Rennie from Crimson. Yeah, I mean, Wallabies are in a situation at the moment of who's going to be their head coach. Thrown in by Elliot D, challenged in the air between the two locks. Wales have got possession, or at least they did up until Scotland almost got the turnover, but the penalty does go the way of the Welsh. Made greatness. Did France really do the impossible? Says Xander. They certainly did, and they did it comfortably. 15 points in their favour. If it wasn't for a couple last-minute tries from the Irish, they probably would have lost by about 30. Just vacuum clean the keyboard. Brilliant, says Bruce. We have got the hello there, mate, says Brian. In there as well. And the interim coach, Matt Sherritt. Okay, so it sounds like he only wants to coach till the end of the Six Nations, and then they're going to find another coach for the July internationals. They are fast approaching. Aussies have Larkham all lined up. Says Stuart Moore, now Wales. Going off to this left-hand side. Popped him behind. Alice Mee, nice ball off to Joe Roberts. He made his way on relatively early too, due to an injury to Tom Rogers. France sub-5 forwards at once in Ireland. Didn't know how to respond, says Big Rig Joe. And Brad Thorne could coach the Crusaders, says Crimson. Thomas Williams. Off to the right again here. Much better from Wales, but every breakdown, Scotland get one guy in there that's a knock-on from the Welsh. That's going to kill that momentum. And now passed out wide to Duan van der Merwe. Slings it back across to Finn Russell. We will look to just kick this one down the middle of the park. Brian has gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much, Brian. It is hugely appreciated. Blair and Murray kicks that ball into touch. And Scotland will take it quickly. Go on the 5 metres to Pierre Scoom. A little bit of a risk and almost backfires, as Wales almost got the possession back. And hit the like button, good people, says Robert there. Off to the left-hand side. That's when I do my best karaoke, says Christopher the Vet. Off to the left-hand side again. Whiskey too rough, champagne cost too much. Says Spider Mech. Finn Russell. Goes on the outside to Dave Cherry. Darcy Graham. And Hamish, there is a cable on the other side of the table. You just been over to get it, please. I cannot. No, it's all charged up this time. Using the PC rather than the iPad, so we're all good. Yeah, certainly a unique experience having to climb on the table to get across. Get tie from Ben White. Chasing after this big shot from Rory Dash. Or in fact, sorry, Jamie Ritchie. Really well timed. It looks like another steal was almost on the cards for the Scottish, but it's popped out on the side of Wales. Elliot D. Tackled by Grillcrest. Now Williams. Goes to Nicky Smith. Having much better phase play in the second half here for the Welsh, although the last time I said that they did end up losing the ball. In this case, it looks like they're going to kick it away. I'm going high. And, beautifully taken on the high ball for Blair Kinghorn. Dempsey receives the offload up to the halfway line now. So Ben White once again will go for the high kick. This will be just outside of the 22. Really well weighted. There was almost a clothesline there from Jamie Ritchie, who looked like he took a bit of a knock on the way past as well. Unfortunately, I can't choose the recipients, Danielle. Otherwise, you'd be there, says Brian. Now, Thomas Williams inside of the 22, so is able to find touch with this one. Does just that. Blair Kinghorn will not take the quick throw. At the end of the day, Scotland are in control here. There's no need for them to rush. Oh. And just as I say that, they decide to take a throw. But they will be back because they weren't where they were supposed to be. Right, 2 and 3 going to be making their way off the field for the Welsh. Wilgriff John going to be off for Kieran Azarati, and then also Dewey Lake, who will make his way on for Elliot D. So 2 changes now. Just mentioned about the fact that he could be on the cards for the Lions tour as a potential hooker. That's what I said before. I never tried it. Too much is no good. But a squirt never killed a man. However, Irish as my swim too. There's Gurnovik, nicely taken by Scotland here. Near the halfway line, already 46 minutes through this contest. Darcy Graham gets a bounce pass. Goes on the outside to Kinghorn, who goes for the grubber, and behind Dawn van der Merwe, chasing after it. And at the back, nice work from Roberts. Being the very loyal and lovable chap, I will never let you forget the bend over, says Lilia B, and that's going to be the penalty to Wales. I'll keep on cheering, keep Hamish awake, says Danielle. Yeah, see, doing that thumbnail at halftime woke me up a little bit more. But yeah, it's certainly been a long day. Played a game of cricket. We've done about 9.5 hours of streaming. Running off about 30 minutes of sleep. Tell us more, Lilia, says Robert. Now, once again, Finn Russell will kick this one into touch. Townsend, he will want nothing less than a try here in this situation. We have got the what bendo I've forgotten, says Bruce. But now 10 metres out from the line. Nicely taken for Scotland again. Being told to use it once. They commit an extra 3 or 4 men to the rolling maul. It still isn't really going anywhere, so they do have to use it right now, or they will have to lose it. Okay, they're going to slowly creep towards the try line. Great strength shown by Ben White. So our France shoes in now, or shoe-ins now, or does anyone still think Ireland or England have a chance? I mean, England will certainly feel like they've got a good shot. of going through, but that big points differential of the French is just going to destroy anyone if it's points differential deciding. A great run from Kinghorn goes through, and it is another try for the Scottish. That is try number 5 in this match. Crowd at Murrayfield are absolutely loving it. Though I do think deep down a few people wanted to see a close game between these two sides, which unfortunately is the opposite of what we'd had here. I'll just say never miss a game with Hamish. You snooze, you lose, says Lilia B. And Johnny said yes, and only if Scotland beat France and Ireland beat Italy. England have no chance in my opinion, says Brian. Just looping around. Finn Russell, short ball to Kinghorn. He was thinking about going wide, but decided instead that short will do nicely. So another try, says Blues Nate. Yeah, a lot of tries being scored. 35 points to 8. Finn Russell having a much better day off the kicking deal. I don't see Scotland beating France at home, but I would love it. Says Big Rig. And Goody Wales, very little chance of winning. Can we make the 50? I think so. I think that they'd be probably disappointed if they didn't, if we're being honest. But honestly, I think France have it. I put some money on England. If Scotland can keep France from a bonus point victory and England win their game with a bonus point, they can still take it, says Christopher DeVette. I'm told to use it for Ben White. And it'll last some action, says Danielle. Chasing after this one is Duan van der Merwe right near the touchline. Beautifully taken by Blair Murray. And Williams. Can Wales find a way? Oh, it's going to be not free from Jack Dempsey when he tried to join the breakdown. Our Wales should play on second tier, says Brian. I feel some sympathy for Wales. I honestly thought they'd come out strong. A lot of people did, but there was... I made a comment at the start of the live stream, and I hoped it wasn't going to be the case, but I felt like Wales had their big game. And that was up against the Irish. That was as good as they've been in a long time. And for that to still not be good enough, I think would have had a bit of a toll on the players. Now, Kinghorn. Tackled low by Duff Jenkins. Across to Matt Fagerson. Goes up to Richie. I think France will deservedly win the Six Nations Championship, and good luck to them. No one's mind losing to a class outfit. Only those with issues. Whine, blame, and deny. Says Kernovic. Now, Alice Mee. Oh, almost snuck his way through. Thomas Williams. Off to Azerati. I think they'll ever bring in a bonus point in for scoring 50 plus. Probably not. But sometimes in Super Rugby, you've got to score 50 plus or else you don't even get a chance at your bonus point. That is going to be another penalty turnover for the Scottish. Commentator just said finders, keepers, losers, weepers. So you know it's not a good day for the Welsh. And bring back Gatland. Wasn't his fault, says Bruce. See, that's the tricky thing, though. A lot of people felt after that game last week up against Ireland that it had all changed and that somehow Wales had become a top side. But this week they've gone back to that same as they had been doing, if not maybe a little bit worse. I'd still love to see Scotland upset them. France with my picks from the start. I was surprised when England beat them. Now another line out for Dave Cherry and the Scottish team. About 25 metres out. This is a mentality thing. That's why Wales gave Ireland a closer game. They were fresh off sacking of Gatland fired up, says Otto. Now inside ball to Darcy Graham. Jack Morgan just manages to dive out of that breakdown in time. And Wales need to send a few ambassadors to South Africa. So here's Jean going off to the left. Scotland, they've already crossed the try line 5 times. And they will fully believe that they can do it again. Wide cut-out pass from Finn Russell out to Darcy Graham, who's 20 metres from the line. Xander Ferguson. Good again. And Wales had a dead man's bounce after the coach changed. I wasn't going to last, says Brian. Now knocked on by Scotland. Wales back in possession. Little chip in behind from Blair. Murray kicks it forward. Going to be chasing after this one, but Blair Kinghorn is back. It's a battle with the Blairs at the back for this match. Kinghorn passes across to Graham. That looked close to forward. And get it on with a few Bug Afrikaans women's. And also we have got their Wales just need a year or two under South African coach, and a bump off there. Good carry forward. Ben White getting sat down. Nikki Smith up to the 22-metre line, and there is going to be the advantage in favour of the Welsh. Wales has some great players and make some good plays, but I just don't see any cohesion. Now, the on 2025 is the worst season for Wales. There's Nez. Although 2024, they went the whole year. Oh, did they go the whole year without a win? Or no, they might have had one right early on. Kicked across. Bit of skill. Alice Mee's not able to grab it. The one Funamurva did just enough. Scotland are wanting to pray that it rains on the day they face France. Says SLD. Once again, Wales, this was a decent play. Shifting it from side to side and almost through. We're in an awful place losing to Scotland like this. It's worse than losing to Georgia, and Wales are like 15 losses in a row now. Getting, pretty close to it. And the Holy Trinity, South African coach, Welsh assistant to learn many players to the Lord. They should be fine. And we're in load shedding for me too, says Francois. 26 minutes left. I was just trying to work out whether or not Scotland's 50 is still on the cards if he does disappointed if Scotland don't reach 50. Says Robert. I can't take you serious when you wear a tie. Says Super Dad Chris. Why not? What's wrong with the tie? I feel like surely that gives me more seriousness, does it not? At Elliot D, he's made his way from the field, so he brings Dewey Lake for this line out. I'll be sad for Wales if they do. Says John. Thomas Williams. Back across to the right. More maturity for sure. More authority. Says Otto. And another drop ball for the Welsh. If France win against Scotland, they will definitely win the Six Nations. Absolutely. Even if they get a bonus point, they will still more than likely secure... Well, no, actually, that's not true. They do have to win, don't they? Right. Another line out here for the Welsh. Hamish, do you think Wales can still take this match if they believe in themselves, find strength from within, channel their anger to points on the scoreboard? No. Nah, they're going to lose, unfortunately. But, maybe they can, like you said, find their souls within and maybe get 2 or 3 tries in total for this match. They're currently sitting on 1. Shout out for Reed, my son. They won the under-10s game. Great stuff. And congrats, there's Robert. All right, Dave Cherry and Ben White have both made their way off. Oh, the shirt, Hamish, by the way, says Danielle. Thank you very much. 25 minutes left now on the clock. And Wales, they're getting a lot more position in the second half, I would say. Wales can't win. But knowing Scotland, they can definitely still lose it, says Kerr. What's the tie for, Hammy? Because we had France versus Ireland. And since it was a big game, we had to put on our big boy shirt. What did you think of France versus Ireland game earlier today? Definitely not the score that I think, honestly, no one was really saying that in terms of the predictions we saw coming through. A lot of people felt like it was going to be a close game, or maybe that it was only going to be separated by about 10 points maximum. More likely, though, 7 or less. But yeah, great performance from the French. And Ireland did really struggle. 2026's new format's 8 nations. Says Naz. I like the tie. Well done, Reed and team. Something's yawning. Yeah, it's kicking in a little bit, the old yawns, isn't it? Shake the mouse, Hamish. One moment. There we go. You're making me yawn. Oh, that's going to be not straight. Right, so Wales are going to have the option now. I'm on the jock, says Ross. Do you think more teams will start using the 7-1? I'm not sure, because France used it right, but then they did actually have to go with a forward in the back line because of the HIA of Barassi. So it's whether or not they're willing to take that risk of maybe having to use one of their forwards as a back. Now we go there, 2026 8 Nations plus Georgia and Portugal. Says Neza. I mean, it would certainly lead to some more one-sided affairs in the competition. And all our rugby supporters will remember how good Wales was in the past. They had they had superstars and played exciting winning rugby. WRU needs to take accountability for the decline. Says Brian, welcome back to Scoreboard. Says Blues Nate, has the sun risen yet in New Zealand? Not quite. We're pretty close to it at the moment. A kicked high from Kinghorn. Sitting around the halfway line, but he has knocked that one on. So we're going to have ourselves another scrum. France's favourite position is number 9. So much depth in that position is unreal. Yeah, they've got some great guys in the wings who are just waiting for that opportunity. Of course, they've had Dupont for so long. But you've got Luku, you've got Legaric, you've got Seren. Oh, yeah, I've got there. France were brilliant. Not afraid to admit it. There's a curse on 3 times 6 nations in a row anyway. I keep having to bring back to live. Falls behind. Don't know why. Here's Bruce. Interesting fact, Tom Jones playing for Wales is not unusual. Here's Ross. Lovely bit of wordplay. Why don't the box play France? Says more Manny. When are we talking? Like this year or just in general? What's the go? How you find stream to ball all-nighters? Sometimes 11 p.m. I'm out. Honestly, like today has been one of the harder all-nighters that we've done. Like I don't normally get this tired by the last live stream. But I think Blair Kinghorn was actually throwing up before, which is not ideal, but he's decided he's going to continue playing. But yeah, I think it's just more so that when there's so much rugby on, I just want to keep on watching it. But eventually it kicks in, needs some Pepsi or a Red Bull, says Big Rig Joe. I like giving Georgia a shot one year or Portugal another, etc., says Otto. And France have always had great number 9s. I think it's due to how the French play, how they're heavily relying on the scrum half. So it's important to have a good 9. Look at the under-20s French team as well. Can the Black Cats win? What are their chances? They're given about the 30% chance of winning it. Teague says Lilia B. For the players or for me? And Nigel Owens didn't. I get those lips smoking cigars, says Bruce. I'm still waiting for that revenge match against the Box. That rugby quarter still hurts in France, says LSD. Says SLD. Now to Lupe Falatau. 25 metres out from the line here for the Welsh. We're into the last quarter of this fixture. I'd love to see at least one more try here for the Welsh, just to give them something to be slightly happy about. Now Thomas passes across to Llewellyn. Give Wales a chance, guys. The WRU has lost the plot on the game, says Gunner Time. France looking dangerous, says Manny M. And you, says Lilia B. You know, there's a bit of fatigue there. We've done many all-nighters. So that's a great run forward and they score the try. Thomas does go through. And finally for the Welsh, they get themselves a try in this half. 13 points on the board now for this Welsh team. When the Box play France in November, it will be World Champions versus Six Nations Champions. Says Robert. Question is, will it also be Rugby Championship champions? And like I said, I just think giving 1 or 2 well-ranked Tier 2 nations a shot would be fun. Says Otto, you're doing commentary for the New Zealand versus India final. I am not, only because we've got the matchup between England and Italy of the Six Nations that I am going to be covering on the channel. So because of that, it would overlap. But during that one, that will be the last 2 hours or so of that match. So we will be giving updates throughout that contest in terms of what is happening for that game. And maybe even afterwards, if there's still another, let's say, 30 minutes or so remaining of that ICC Champions Trophy final, we might end up covering it on that stream too. So what happens when WRU is more interested in money for the stadium rental than the game? Wales are a reasonably ranked Tier 2 nation. Malaysia will win against Hong Kong in the Asia Rugby Cup, says Nazza. What is your favourite team to watch play? Honestly, there's so many. Because, international-wise, it's great watching these games. It's great watching Rugby Championship. For a club level, we watch Super Rugby, we commentate it. URC's the same. Just, honestly, whatever's on. And as long as it's a good game, I'm happy. It's a shame France are not sending their full-strength team to the AB, says Manny M. It is, but at the same time, New Zealand just had to make sure that they beat them. And if they beat them badly, then France are going to drastically drop on the rankings. So that's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, of course, is New Zealand lose to the young side. Will Rowlands, he's going to make his way off. Do you watch NFL? I don't. I watched the Super Bowl, but I didn't really know what was going on. Do you like watching the French flair? I mean, this French side is outstanding to watch. The back line at the moment is completely stacked, and then you look at the forwards as well, still doing some great work. Yeah, they're certainly one to watch out for. There looks like Wales might not get a hiding. France gave them. This is good, says Brian. Now passing it across here. We have 3 cells of the dummy from the youngster, 22 jersey, Jared Evans. The one I'm looking forward to is an old bugger. Springboks versus All Blacks at Eden in September. Going to be a drop ball from Darcy Graham, but I believe they've said that it's gone backwards. And Scotland need to learn a bit of killer instinct. They should be throwing points on the board here, says Kerr. Yeah, we mentioned about it, that they'll be disappointed not to bring up 50, but now, it's looking like maybe only one more try in them. Which I don't think they will be too happy about. That one's kicked towards the touchline, nicely used by Duan van der Merwe to keep the ball alive. I still think French side should be ranked number 1, says Manny M. Have you eaten anything? I had something like a while ago, I think. Gail Fiku is still injured too, says Gunner. Imagine if Georgia beat, say, Italy. I think their whole nation would be in tears partying all night long, says Otto. I watched this program on TV, a title Walk a Mile. I thought it's a movie. Guess what? It's about a camel. I see. Right, scrum or line out is going to be the options here. She tried to slap it back. I think I just said there, Richie has had 11 seasons with Edinburgh, but now he's going to be going overseas. As well as making Scotland look good, or is Scotland playing particularly well? First half, they played outstanding for the Scottish. They took their chances. They found some brilliant passes along the way. This second half, I think it's been a case of both sides are making plenty of errors, but neither side have fully been able to capitalise on the opposition errors we've seen. This game is still keeping me from switching over to the footy. Here's Eric. There's no more Hong Kong Sevens. Here's Manny M. Isn't there? Aren't they playing in Hong Kong in March? Late this month? And same here, says Francois and Ace Scotland are on the uppers, but like us, they don't have depth. See you next year. Says Fleshin. Hamish, is your shirt spotted? It's quite funky. It is slightly, well, it's kind of like little crosses. Almost the same as the tie. Does match. Controversial opinion. They are professional athletes. Expectation of performing at top level for 80 minutes should not be regarded as too much of an ask. It's an 80-minute shift with a break, says Kerr. Oh, world's strongest man in attendance for this game. That's the thing. Some guys seem to have that gas tank to be able to go the full time, no matter what tempo they are playing at. I'm talking about how much the strong man eats, about 13,000 calories. That'll go all right, wouldn't it? That's going to be a penalty going the way of Scotland now at scrum time. That's your eyes, Ruth. Says Brian, you can come to my house, Ruth, but you can swim all the way to New Zealand to charge your phone. I hope your phone's waterproof then, because that's a long swim to have it in the water. And the way France played tonight, they have beat the box. Says Manny M. But now another line out here for it is Dewey Lake. How can the Irish be at number 4 in the world rankings? Can't be true, says Xander. I believe it is. Because France won by such a big margin, it really knocks down the Irish. Easy to say they lack energy when you're not the one being tackled 40 times. Says Big Rig Joe. I don't think tiredness is an excuse used too often, is my point. This is the job and they should be able to perform. It's a requirement of a job, in my view, opinions. Says Kerr. And how many calories? 13,000 was how much the strongest man was apparently eating. So that's a lot. Like a lot. Playing a little bit of country roads by the sounds of it at the stadium. We need to knock the box off number 1. I was in the club the other night and in the Safa lad, I was wearing a Springbok hoodie with pride in a club. Says Otto. 42 points. They could have had 50 points against Ireland. Gregor Brown, he comes on. Kyle Rowe does the same, placing Gray and Graham. And thanks for the mammoth commentary today. I'll be talking in my sleep if I was you, says Brian. And the Sevens have shown that even Spain have some potential, says Christopher. Yeah, Spain have been outstanding in the Sevens side of things. Much higher than I think a lot of people thought that they would have been. Now, nicely taken by Talupe Falatau. Ball has dropped out the back, but has travelled in a backwards direction. How do you even eat 13k calories? Only eat donuts, says Xander. I think it was like a whole heap of chickens. Oh, okay, they're going to be going back for the original advantage in favour of Wales for the Scottish player playing at the arm. Rankings are South Africa, AB's Ireland, France. Also, France is still in 4th, are they? And then Ireland are in 3rd. Oh, you know, that's a bit of a dirty play from Grant Gilchrist. Pretty much slapping the ball out of the hand. And poor Wales, to be honest, says Reno. And Wales need damn bigger comeback, says Nazar. France missed out on jumping up after last Irish try. They needed to win by 16 to jump, says Kerr. Oh, 16, and they got 15 in the end. So just that one last try of the Irish actually saved their ranking. Nice. 5 metres out from the line at the moment. Oh, reaches out and scores it. And Teddy Williams gets it. Surely not, right? 12 minutes left. This is going to put them down by 13. This is not happening, is it? The thingy at halftime said 100% chance that Scotland win this game. Oh, hang on. Oh, referee was telling me he has to go a metre to the side. I get in there, boy, says Eric J. I know I'm really happy. They are number 4, says Francois. And Scotland can't take any points for this game for the world rankings. Wales too far behind. Same situation with France next weekend. What's going on, says Xander? The Welsh comeback's on. Somehow. I don't know how, but this is going to be a little bit of a hectic last kind of 10 or so minutes by the looks of it. And I mean, Kerr probably said it the best, and he's going to say it there as well. I did say Wales can't win, but Scotland can still lose. And get to see Wales fighting. The crowd is starting to get a little bit behind them too here. Rodri Williams onto the field. That is for Thomas Williams. Now, it's going to be taken nicely by Talupe Falatau. And Argentina are number 5, and it feels like no one talks about them. Says Big Rig. Yeah, they just chill, don't they? Everyone's talking about the top 4, talking about down where Australia, Fiji, all those type of sides are. And then, yeah, Argentina just happy enough with sitting in the middle. There's going to be a second New Zealand club side in the NRL. Says Manny M. Nicely taken there. Blair King on Murrayfield loves good rugby. Is Italy better than Japan or evenly matched? Says and it'll be an interesting matchup if they were to play now. But I think Japan, they've lost a few of those more experienced guys, which I think has hurt them a little bit, whereas Italy seem to be the younger guys are the ones stepping up for them. Nice step from Blair Kinghorn. 10 minutes left. Alupe Falatau. He almost wanted to steal that one. Scotland lacked the killer instinct. Needed to see out the games properly. They become too relaxed and start feeling pressure and making errors. Yeah, I think they just need one big try here, don't they? Just to really say, yep, you're not coming back at us. But if they aren't careful, we're going to see Wales not just get a bonus point, maybe they'll probably get 2 bonus points. Oh, no, there's a big run from Ben White. In fact, no, sorry, George Horn it was. Another offload here. This is starting to look a lot better from the Scottish. Starting to get the ball through their hands. Hugh Jones. 10 metres out. Horn is across now to, it would have been Stafford McDowell. Darcy Graham made his way off not too long ago, but Kyle Rowe will be there to replace him, who I believe will be waiting for it, Pierce Scorman. In fact, this time it was Rory Sutherland. Around the side, Dempsey, once again, just inches from the line. Right, where's Kyle Rowe? He will want this ball in the very near future. Ewan Ashman carves his way forward. He is still short by the looks of it. Scotland were claiming the try, but the ball's going to be there. They just can't quite get over that last little inch. Short again of the line. This is great defence from the Welsh. I wasn't saying anything there for a second. I was just watching it and admiring the fact that they are pretty much scrambling with everything they've got now. That was close to being held up. In fact, it is. And it's a goal line dropout now for Wales. A little difference in performance ability in Scotland and top sides. It's mentality and attitude that separates them. Says Kerr. And double movement, triple movements. Says Blues Nate. And hey, none of us want sympathy. We know Wales are better than Scotland at rugby. Being a smaller country as opposed to Scotland crying. We are the small country, says Fleshin. And can any team stop the Kangaroos winning the Rugby League World Cup in New Zealand next year? It's going to be a tough one, isn't it? Aussie are always at the top for the rugby league side of things. Right, goal line dropout now for Wales. Still 8 minutes left in this game. Another try very soon for the Welsh, and this gets even more interesting. You must be tired by now. I am absolutely buggered. But this end to this contest certainly is making it a lot more intense than I thought it would have been. Here comes the run from Scotland with Hugh Jones. Back across to the left-hand side. Scotland are the champions of being the almost team. Says Kerr. George Horn. After this right-hand side, trying for the offload. It's a risky one, and it's kicked downfield from Wales. Keeping the ball in the field of play. Picked up beautifully by Blair Kinghorn. He certainly had a game and a half at the back. Now going off to the left-hand side again here. Aaron Itzbeth is the best second row in the world, says Nazza. And Hamish drink a quick brandy for energy, says Xander. Now passed out wide, Hugh Jones. Oh, he's knocked it on. It was the big chance. And they will go back for another scrum in favour of the Welsh. That was very close. You must get some sleep in during the day, although we can't get too much because we have got the Crusaders versus Reds game It is taking place in the early afternoon, so we will be covering that one in about 8 hours' time. Thanks for the streams, Hamish. I've had a day out bike riding and tuned in on Sky, or on the Sly, says Eric. So hopefully the biking has been going well. Handling errors, 9 errors from Scotland compared to the 4 of Wales. Wales have not had a single offload throughout this whole game, whereas Scotland have had 12. And Student Tide going to be your PJs today. No, I'm going to have a nice warm shower after this. And then I'll probably lie on my bed, try and get organised with like setting an alarm. And maybe I'll do that before lying on my bed, because or else I'll just fall asleep straight away. And you lift your head high, Wales. Win or lose, you give it your all. Says Spider Mick. A little bit of a counter-ruck coming here from Scotland. And ball is popped out on the side of Jack Morgan and his Welsh team. Sutherland trying to get the turnover, couldn't do it. 5 minutes now left on the clock. If Scotland didn't gather points in time, they would have bottled it, says Bo Kang. And I'm back guarding Dwayne. Now, nicely taken by Kyle Rohit with the second battering ram of Jack Morgan. Which city do you live in? Says Steve. I'm in a small town halfway between Christchurch and Dunedin here in New Zealand. It's currently 7:30 a.m. We've done the all-nighter for these matches, but it's been an enjoyable day of rugby. Kick downfield again from George Horn. Nicely taken to the back for the Welsh. And now Liam Murray. Leapfrogs over one, bumps out of another. That is some absolutely brilliant individual play. Talupe Faletau will score the try for Wales, and they are back in it now, even closer. This is strange. Like, really strange. Right, the win probability, does it still say 100% for the Scottish, or has it changed? 98% chance that Scotland win this game compared to the 2% of Wales. Right, they're just talking about whether or not he's allowed to hurdle over a guy. Did a little bit of a jump, so they might actually rule that one right back. Well, starting to believe, says Xander. And Faletau for the Lions. Okay, they're just deciding whether or not he's jumped for the tackle, trying to jump over, or whether he has just kind of stepped and there's a bit of a leap there. A hot shower sounds good after all this commentary. Well done, Scotland. You're helping Wales to increase their record, 15 and counting. Says Bruce. Yeah, unfortunately, that is a hurdle. And that's going to be a massive shame, because that was a phenomenal bit of individual play. Yeah, he ends up jumping over the tackle attempt. Massive bump off on George Horn too. Skill level the same, attitude changed, end result. A Scotland win, looking shaky. That's my point, says Kerr. I've just said there, you can see why he's got defenders beaten well and truly. Okay. It's going to be no try. That's a hurtful one for the Welsh, as that was almost, that was their chance to get back in. Wales try. What a try not given. Shocking decision, says Eric J. And it's a jump. That should be allowed, says Brian. And what says Crimson? Give the refs a clown wig. I still think Scotland have it, even if Wales scored, says Big Rig. And out says John. I think they are going right back to where it was. That doesn't look like the right mark. It actually looks a lot closer to the goal line than why was that try not allowed? So pretty much he's jumped to dodge a tackle. And the rule is you're not allowed to hurdle over a tackle attempt, and that's just part of the player safety side of things. But yeah, like he has got off the ground And he's pretty disappointed about it there, Blair Murray, when he saw them call it as no try. Now Ewan Ashman throws that ball in, but it's stolen by Wales again. Rodri Williams almost leaves that one for Dewey Lake without telling him. Otherwise it was so hot, 34. Scotland led Wales come back like this, says says SLD. Yeah, it certainly hasn't been a good second half for the Scottish. They've only scored one try. They're up 28 points to 8 at half time. Wales have scored 2 converted tries in the second period of time. Wales fullback man of the match. He's been great. Also, I mean, Blair Kinghorn for the Scottish has also been outstanding. They're showing Finn Russell at the moment, which makes me think they're going to say, oh no, there he is, Blair Kinghorn. Surely he is man of the match. There it is. Does receive it. Now going back across to Tom Jordan, who honestly, he could get his hat-trick here. He's trying to say maybe they gave it away a bit too early for the award. Now Gilchrist sits down. Duff Jenkins. I've never seen this in fourth WF as this. Says 9HD. Oh, knock on there from Scotland again. That was odd, says Fleshin. And when's the next match, says Roof? So the 3 games that are taking place next week, we are going to be covering on the channel. It's going to be these 3. Italy versus Ireland, Wales versus England, and France versus Scotland. The Six Nations will be on the line. And at the end of that round, we will know exactly who will be victorious. And Glasgow, I need to seal this game off, says Kerr. And that gets win by 10 runs. You said a lot in club rugby. You can't jump over a tackle, says Big Rig Joe. Well done, Blair, says John. And they do. What's the win predictor now? The win predictor at this point in time, right now, is 99% Scotland win, 1% Wales win. And I think that's pretty generous at the moment because of the fact that Scotland now have got themselves the scrum with only a minute remaining. It's just never ending, this heat, and it burns the skin. And do you guys get to see the Bok this year? We have a game in July, says Roz. And you must get some sleep in before your next stream. That is the plan anyway. Definitely because we'll more than likely be doing an all-nighter for the night after. Scotland versus France is a big question. I predict the 35 points to 21. Not too bad if it stays this way, says Christopher. I think it'll be a very interesting match, says John. And there as well. Now breaking off the back. For Jack Dempsey, George Horn fires it off to the left. Can Scotland get another right before the end of this match? Blair Kinghorn gets within the 5. Now 50 seconds remaining. George Horn almost cleaned up by the Welsh. Round the side. That one's going to be held up again. It's twice in a row now. 9 Glasgow on just now, says Kerr. 9 Glasgow, as in the total number, or are you talking George Horn? Cross kick from the Welsh for the 22 dropout, and it has worked out. They are still looking for that one more bonus point. In fact, they can receive 2 if they get themselves a converted try here. Passed out wide to Blair Murray. Great take from him. Now out to Ellis Mee. Oh, he's had the ball ripped off him. Duan van der Merwe. Running forward, he's had his jersey ripped, and that's a big shot. Sitting 30 metres out, George Horn goes across. Oh, that's an ugly challenge. Unfortunately, both men just slipping over in the process. Luckily, both are all right. I know how you feel. The Sharks game feels like days and a crate of lager ago, says Robert. Oh, back to the left. Scotland still want one more. Ewan Ashman goes on the outside. That looked like it was very close to the sideline, but so the ref's going to say play on. Duan van der Merwe. Up to 20 metres out. And they think it's all over, says John. George Horn going short side with the inside ball. Told to get out of there for Talupe Falatau, my go-to channel since Rugby World Cup 2023. Love this channel. Says Ross, thank you very much. And yeah, we've got plenty more coming up. We are hopefully going to be doing it right through to the next Rugby World Cup as well. Stephen McDowell. So about 7 or so phases at the moment for the Scottish. That's gone backwards. Gilchrist. Now nice take from Dempsey. Now Horn. Ooh, almost a fumble by the big man Will Hurd. Horn tries to go again. Oh, big shot on him. Scotland have to be careful not to end up with an injury here. As the next 7's in April. It is late March that it's going to be happening. A good scoreline for both teams for different reasons, says Robert. Yeah, I think for Wales to have 22 points after the way that this game started, they'd be relatively happy. And I mentioned about an injury, and it looks like Scotland have got one now. We have to keep an eye on that. But now running down the wing, it's going to be Rogers. Steps back inwards, sells the dummy, can't quite get his next pass away. He's still going, and 4 Scottish players have to drag him down. Flicked out the back, knocked on, kicked into touch, and that will be the end of the game. Oh no, it won't. Offside penalty against Sutherland. So Wales still have one more chance. I get to see them playing rather than just killing the ball. Says John. And now it's going to be kicked into touch by Wales. They are going for the 5-metre scrum. Or 5-metre line out, sorry. And this will give them chance of scoring 2 tries. You can't buy in at the moment. Says Fleshin, and thanks a million, Amish. Excellent commentary. Thanks again, Amish, says Bruce. It is greatly appreciated you all being here. We get to see this one last rolling maul attempt from Wales. The most bizarre game is still Lions versus Sharks in the final. When after the final whistle went, Lions being in front still played, then lost. Yeah, that was the Curry Cup final, wasn't it? Very confusing one, I remember at the time. Now nicely claimed by the Welsh. Ben Thomas, flat ball. Oh, that's close. And Llewellyn has scored. Wales will get the 2 points if they are able to convert this, but they do guarantee at least 1 here. Right, Finn Russell's looking disappointed. He's shaking his head. Tremendous commentary, Amish. Thanks so much, says John. And Anscombe is just right for Wales. What a brilliant run for Wales, says Brian there too. Right, so the score at the moment, the difference is 8. If they score now, they get themselves the losing bonus point and also the try-scoring bonus point. Chance here for Jared Evans. Win says Flesham. What an absolute fast from Scotland. And the kick's gone over. So Wales do get the 2 points from this game, which is far more than I think a lot of people would have been anticipating. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It's a very respectable scoreline here now for the Welsh. Game of 2 halves. Perfect way of describing it. The next game that we are doing, it is going to be the matchup between the Crusaders and the Reds. And that is not too far. Well, it's a wee way away, about 7.5 or so hours. So be sure to check that out as well. You're going to try and stay awake for the rest of the day? No chance. I'm going to be heading to bed in the near future and then waking up just before that Super Rugby game. Nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for being here, and I will see you all for the next one.